Hello, Mr. Ed here. Today is January the 13th, 2022. Charlie and I are in the St. John Bee Yard here in Folsom, Louisiana, and we're dealing with a little issue that these bees have handed us. The bees went submarine. They went underneath the hive, and that's what we're going to be dealing with today. There's actually two hives that did this, and I'm looking at it. One of them looks like it died out, but the other one right behind me, that one is very, very active. So what our plan is for today is we're going to be taking this hive back to the Abbey, because we're going to remove all the comb underneath it. I don't know what the situation is inside of the box, whether there's bees are moved in the box itself or they're all underneath. I don't know. We're going to find that out. I'm going to find out at the same time you're going to find out. And we're going to remove the comb that's underneath the stand, as well as the bees. We're going to use the Everything Bee Vac. We're going to vacuum them up, because we've got to get these bees away from here. What I found with bees that go submarine on me is that if you leave the hive set in the same spot, they're gonna continue to go back under it. Even if you change your bottom board, they just go right back under it. So I'm going to give them a totally new environment, and hopefully they'll be able to pull out of it at that point. So by the grace of God, I don't know, we'll probably be here 2 hours, Charlie?
2 hours.
And we'll have this little job wrapped up. We're going to bring all this comb back up to the Abbey, and I'll render all this stuff down because it's some great wax. But before we get started, I'm going to take the camera and I'm going to show you exactly what we're looking at. So Charlie, you ready?
We're ready.
We'll get in the picture and tell him that.
Well,
come on. You see, Charlie is here.
I'm here, guys.
There he is. There he is.
I'm always behind the camera, but anyway, I'm trying to keep from. These bees are bad over here.
No, they're not too bad today. Oh, it's 62 degrees right now. It started out this morning. It was 37 at the Abbey. We're only about 11, 12 miles from the Abbey, and I'm going to show you the wax and stuff underneath this hive. But at the same time, like I said, today is January 13th. The bees are doing orientation flights on several of the boxes here. As we were coming up, I saw the red maple. There were buds blooming, the red maples on the trees up here. And I had on January 3rd, one of the red maples at the Abbey was blooming, and we had Abbey bees working those. So the nectar is starting to come in, and just from the observation of seeing orientation flights, these hives are already hatching out brood. So it may be an early spring. We've been having really warm weather. It may be an early swarm season, and we're going to be on top of this. So I think you and I got a lot of work to do in the next couple of weeks.
It's going to be a lot.
Let's go ahead and check out what we got going on down here. And this is what we're looking at. Look at this mess down here. They have built a real hive underneath there. Look at this. Yeah, you can see our bees right there. This is definitely not what I want to see in my bee yard. Now, Dirt Rooster, he wouldn't mind this. He just let it go. But this hive right here, and look, the one right next to it, it's the same way. But I think this one's a dead out. I don't see any activity on this. The comb is dark on the bottom. Well, the comb's dark on the bottom of this one too. But we'll find out whether we got bees on this one or not. But this hive right here, this is the one that Charlie and I are going to work on today and get this one brought back up to that. Let me show you on the other side. This is on the corner. Look at this. I mean, the comb even extends all the way to the other side. So this is a real mess, and I don't want this to be in our yard. We're going to clean this up and get these bees back in their box so we can get some honey off of them. I want to show you some of these hives that are having orientation flights. Listen to them. That one right here is a really good one, and there's one on the other side that I saw doing really good. These are all dead outs, and Charlie and I are going to bring all this stuff back to the Abbey today. Look at this. This was when we got here. Golly, the daylight on this one really showed the bees just flying around the entrance right here. So they've calmed down a little bit. But it's really great to see orientation flights this early in the year. Now let's go over there and see what that hive is going to deal us. All right, Charlie and I got all the dead outs loaded into the van, and some of these dead outs, they were dead outs 2 months ago. I think we had 4 of them that were dead outs 2 months ago, and then 2 other ones that died since then. And I know we had 4 because that's how many bottom boards and covers and lids we had, because we had those scattered on the inside of this little building right here. And I just went through and pulled out 2 other dead outs. Now this one right next to me, it may be a dead out too. We're going to find out shortly. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and open up this box. And as I fully expected, nothing in this top box. And let me show you what's going on in here. It's all just drawn comb. All the 10 frames in here, they all look like that. It's already drawn out. These will be great for our next supers that we're going to be putting on here for our brood supers. Bees can clean this stuff up. This box is just like one of the other 100 that we have at the Abbey with drawn comb just sitting there. So let's pull this one off and see if we have any bees in that bottom box. And that's really what I'm interested in finding out. And I'm looking down there and there's nothing in that box either. So again, it'll be in that same situation. Drawn comb. And you can see it's old because it's darker. Drawn comb. This'll all work for. I'm going to probably be using this stuff for swarm traps because this is some beautiful stuff right here. I don't really like putting good stuff in swarm traps. A little beat up, but definitely with that smell of bees. Wow, that's what they want. So this is going to be, I got good 10 frames of this for our swarm traps. And we'll be setting our swarm traps within another 2 weeks. We'll be starting setting traps. All right, let's pull this box off of here. And look at the mess that we have below here. And here is what the bottom of that board looked like. All this hopeless right here that they put on the screen. And what I want to do is show you how they built and attached the comb to the bottom of this board. And now you can see all the comb that's around here. And I want to lift this up because I want to be able to access these bees so I can start vacuuming, because this just isn't going to work. And I know when I lift this up, we're going to have breakage of this and some of that comb will drop just like it did before. But let's go ahead and find out if the bees are going to tolerate my doing this to them. Oh, that worked really, really, really good. And there's our bees right there. We got some right there. All right. I think I'll start pulling some of this comb out, getting closer to those bees. And as we get closer to them, because all this looks like it's all dry. And our bees are just right here. So I'll see if I can get this stuff out and get closer to our bees. And you noticed I didn't smoke the bees. And they're not that bad, and being that it's so cool, they're doing good. And all this comb that I remove here, I'm bringing all this stuff back, and I'm going to be rendering it down. Now, one of the deals that we got to worry about is the stores for these bees. I will be treating this just like a cutout. That whatever honeys that I get, maybe not like this little bit, but whatever honeys is in here, I'm going to give back to the bees. They need it. And we'll frame up some of this comb and then let the bees work their own comb. Alright, I'm starting to get into that honey now, so I'm going to go ahead and get the bee back now. I want to put the comb with the bees on it inside the ice chest, so I'm going to just take all this comb that I put in here and put it in my bucket, because let's just take it up entirely, too much room in that ice chest, and we really do need to preserve as best we can that comb right there, because that's the comb that we're going to frame up. Now let me show you what's going on underneath the hive. I removed all of the comb now, thankfully. But our bees, they're balled up back there, and our queen is back there. I really don't have any choice. I can't move timbers because it might upset the other hives on them. So I'm going to have to spray a little honey robber on the bottom down here. Hopefully it'll push the bees up, and we'll find our queen and vacuum them as we go. You can see on the bottom down here, and then on the top, there they are right there. That's time for this. Now I'm going to spray it right on the bottom, and then I'm going to spray it on this outside edge as well. Hopefully they're going to stay behind where Charlie is right now, and we'll be able to find our queen running out. There she is. You see her? Right here. She's right there. She's coming up right now. There she is. You see her? I'm going to let her come out good. See the cage? Right there. Woohoo! Thank you, Jesus. All right. We got our queen. Thank you, Jesus. Got most of the comb taken out of there, and the bees are just robbing this thing out right now, so I'm basically finished that. I'm going to head up to the attic with Charlie, and we're going to go ahead and get this comb sorted out, put it on a couple of frames, put them in. I'm just going to put them in a 5-frame box right now. They don't need the space, and I'll start feeding these girls because they're going to need to get fed. They definitely don't have enough stores. So we're going to close up this video, huh, Charlie? Well, buddy, what?
Well, that was quite an experience.
Yes.
You never know what you're going to run into.
Submarines out in Folsom, huh? Who'd have thought that?
Who would have thunk that?
But guess what? We got the queen, yeah, baby. So we're going to go ahead and get back up to the Abbey, get these girls straightened out, put them in that little nuke, start feeding them, and who knows, in a couple more weeks, she'll start laying more, and we're going to get these girls in a 10 frame for sure. So,
absolutely.
So what?
So thanks for watching.
Keep on watching.
We'll be making more.
God bless, Mr. Ed.
And good time, Charlie.
And our queen, Her Highness. We're out of here until the next video.